Attention spectators. Will the driver of the silver Aston Martin license plate BNT 1 notice the racetrack.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
A mecca for Southern Virginia short track racing for over half a century. South Boston Speedway today bills itself as America's home track. South Boston Speedway, SoBo to its many fans, was a quarter-mile dirt track when it opened in 1957, and in that dusty incarnation hosted NASCAR Cup Series racing, as well as a host of other stock and modified classes. Paved in 1962, it grew to .357 miles before a final growth spurt in 1994 brought the track to its current configuration of 0.4 of a mile. 12 degrees of banking in the turns and 10 degrees on its 360-yard straightaways. The 45-foot width helps passing and keeps the racing close. Today, the late model class is the headliner of the 4 regular classes at SoBo, but modifieds race there regularly and also hold the overall track record at just over 99.9 miles per hour. Owned by Joe Mattioli III since 2000, who has invested heavily to make the facility one of the finest short tracks in America. With 18 races on the annual schedule, the track is active an average of 3 weekends a month during the racing season. The list of SoBo stars over the years reads like a history book of NASCAR. Richard Petty won here 5 times. And the list of other legendary names includes Joe Weatherly, David Pearson, Buck and Buddy Baker, Tiny Lund, Wendell Scott, Darrell Waltrip, Bobby Allison, Cal Yarbrough, Dale Earnhardt, and former NASCAR champion and television broadcaster Benny Parsons, who captured his first career Cup Series win in 1971 in SoBo's final Cup Series race. Tonight, it's race 22 and 23 of the IROC Challenge Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual South Boston Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Let's jump right into it. Race details for tonight. 125 laps each race. 2 races tonight. Twin 125ers. 78-degree ambient temperature. 45% humidity. Under partly cloudy skies. 2-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with a full fuel load here tonight. 3 change sets over the wall. Plenty of tires to get it done here this evening. The question will be, will we see fireworks here tonight? And I'm not talking about in the sky, I'm talking about on the racetrack. Martinsville, relatively tame last week. Not expecting more of the same here tonight. More of a bull ring type racetrack. Again, last week's top 3, Kyle Turzak, Garrett Johnston, and Timmy Schofield. All 3 drivers in the field here this evening as the warm-up is underway currently. About a minute remains in the session. Kyle Turzak fastest to 14:73. Brandon Mefford with a 78. Brian McCann third quick with an 81. You see the times there. Back to about the 6th place. Pretty tight. A few drivers not making any laps here in this warm-up session. Some driver stats coming into this evening as we are into the playoffs now. Kyle Turzak with 14 wins on the season, 1 already here in the playoffs. Brian McCann with 4 wins, Brandon Mefford with 2, and part-time driver James Pileski with 1 earlier on in the season. Stages tonight will be the completion of lap 65. Will not see a caution for those tonight. With that, let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 14.764 seconds, it's the 051 of Kyle Terzak. Outside the front row, missed it by 33 thousandths of a second. It is the 3 of Brian McCann. Brandon Mefford rolls off from the 3rd position. Joshua Stewart takes the 4th spot. Garrett Johnston in the number 15. He'll roll from position number 5. Newt Quick out of Illinois, the number 4 machine, will start 6th. Tim Schofield, top 3 driver last week. He'll start in the 7th position. Larry Bruner, the number 44, will start 8th. Josh Funkhauser, the 81, will roll from the 9th position, with Mike Cook, the 00, rolling off shotgun on the field in the 10th position. Again, a relatively light field here tonight, but I don't know. It's been kind of good as of late. Looking at these shorter fields here as far as the competition side of things is concerned, races have been a little cleaner. A little bit better action. We'll see if that remains true here tonight here at South Boston Speedway. So correction on the stages. It'll be completion of lap 25 for stage 1. And then lap 65 for stage 2.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. We're racing from South Boston. Terzak leads them back to start finish. And a new paint scheme on the 051 this week. We're so familiar seeing him in those red colors all season long. Switching it up here this week here in some blue and white. Still an 051 at the front of the field. Schofield loose off of turn number 2. He's going to give up a spot here to the 4 of Newt Quick. Larry Bruner rolling in behind, trying to do more of the same. A couple of drivers not taking the green flag here tonight. Unfortunately, Mike Cook and Josh Funkhauser, not sure what their issues are. Neither driver took the green flag. Both drivers practiced and qualified, so not sure the issue there with those 2 drivers, but looking at an 8-car field here tonight now that those 2 unable to make the start. Hopefully they can get back in here for the 2nd race of the evening. Terzak continues the lead, about a car length and a half back to Brian McCann in the 2nd spot. Brandon Mefford runs in P3. A few car lengths off of the 3 of McCann, though Garrett Johnston, car length and a half off the back bumper, the number 83, currently runs in the 4th position. Seems to have a little bit of pace right now. His fastest lap just a hair faster than Brandon Mefford. Wiggle out of Mefford off turn number 4 there, but keeps it in position. That's the 3rd spot. Johnston there in 4th. He's up 1 from the start of the race. Still watching this battle here for the 3rd spot. Mefford's got it for the time being. Back up with our race leaders, Turzak and Brian McCann, still 1 and 2. Turzak very gently and slowly pulling away from the 3 of McCann. It was a couple of car lengths out of 4. Brian does reel him back in through 1 and 2, but only by about another half car length. Seems that Turzak a little stronger in the latter stages of the lap. 3 and 4 seems to be where he really excels. Following up on that third place battle between Brandon Mefford and Garrett Johnston, that has cooled off quite a bit. Johnston was there within striking distance, maybe a car length off the back bumper of Mefford just a few laps ago, but that distance has gotten bigger and bigger between the two of them. I'd say put it at a bus length, maybe 2 between those two drivers, Mefford and Garrett Johnston. Meanwhile, Joshua Stewart back in the 5th position in that familiar blue and white 03 machine. Quick in the 6th position. Nuke started in that spot. Pretty much everybody out there with the exception of a few drivers. Garrett Johnston started 5th. He's up to 4th. Joshua Stewart the other way around started 4th down to 5th. Everybody else has stayed put. There is a change there in the 9th and 10th position. Mike Cook, Josh Funkhauser, but then neither driver making the start. Not sure of the situation there again. Nonetheless, Mike Cook going to finish this one here in the 9th spot. Funkhauser 10th, unless somehow they can get back into the session. Back out front quickly, the stage just about to end. Again, the completion of lap 25. We should see that stage come to a close. It's been hit and miss this season as far as cautions are concerned with some of these stage breaks. Expect a yellow should fly here at the end of stage 1, but the stage in question is the second one. Sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't, but nevertheless, field off turn number 4. Turzak's going to cross the line here. He'll win stage number 1. The caution comes out.
Cool your stuff, clear your head.
Second place was Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford 3rd, 4th. Yeah, they go in order. Garrett Johnston was 4th, 5th was Josh Stewart, Duke Quick P6. 7th, Tim Schofield. 8th, Larry Bruner. Mike Cook, 9th. Josh Funkhauser, 10th. Not sure if they'll award stage points for 9th and 10th there, as neither driver took the green flag here tonight, though they will be classified in those positions. First caution in the books, and a hard left turn by Kyle Turzak. Even laid some rubber on the racetrack to come down pit lane. Not really sure if it was even a question if these guys were going to hit pit road. Right side's going on the race leader machines here. It's right side tires for both. See if we can pull Kyle into the broadcast booth quickly here. Kyle Turzak and Steve in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Kyle, congratulations there on that stage 1 win. We'll make it brief because this place is so short, but how's the car feeling? How's things settling in for you in these first 25 laps?
You know, pretty good. I was just trying to see where the limit was right there, and I think I found it. So right here, I'm just going to see what I can do right here, try to hold off McCann, and hopefully save some more tire and take this one home.
Speaking of tires, looks like you and a lot of other guys took right sides only. How do you expect the car to handle with just a fresh set of right side Hoosiers?
Hopefully it's going to tighten up a little bit. It always does, and hopefully that will help us on the longer runs, and which we're going to have right here. So only taking right sides, we're tightening up, and we're going to have 100 laps, so it's going to be a long time on the tires.
All right, Kyle, we'll let you get back to work, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
It's Kyle Turzak, your stage winner. You get ready to go back racing. Got to get these stage interviews in quick. Not a lot of time on these small bull rings to get them done, but we got it done. First one's in the books as we wait for the green flag to come back out. Field through turn 4. The pace car makes the hard left into pit lane.
Green flag, green flag.
And there it is. Green flag back in the air from Sobo. Terzak leads the lap after the restart. Now Brandon Mefford jumps into the second spot. McCann slips back to P3. A couple of drivers may have gambled a bit here on tire strategy. Garrett Johnston, Larry Bruner, appears that they both took 4 tires. Again, there's only 10 cars that entered this race, 8 that took the green flag. So starting at the back of the pack for those that opted for 4 tires, well, it's not much of a detriment. You're still going to start inside the, quote, top 10, so might as well give it a shot if you're at the back of the pack with an opportunity to pit under yellow. I say why not? Take those 4 tires, see what you can do with them. Brandon Mefford looking a little racy out the rearview mirror of the 51 of Kyle Terzak. As we ride on board of the 051, we'll see what he can do to hold off a hard-charging Brandon Mefford. Didn't see a lot of an attack from Brian McCann in that first stage. Looks like we're seeing a little bit more coming from the 83. Mefford appears to have a little bit more pace, but as we heard from Kyle Terzak when we interviewed him after that stage break, knowing he's got to go about 100 laps on this set of tires, might be trying to save what he can. Same token, track position is so important. Many of these small short tracks, you don't really want to give up that position. Last lap for Terzak was a 15:06 to Brandon Mefford's 15:07. Fastest car on the racetrack, though, Brian McCann. Not by much, though, 15:05. So the top 3 separated by 2/100ths of a second. Across the stripe once again. Terzak and Mefford. Terzak's a bit quicker this time, but still the fastest car on the track. It's the 3 of Brian McCann. Board with Brian McCann as he runs in that 3rd position behind this battle for the race lead with Brandon Mefford and Kyle Terzak. Off turn 4, lap 43 up on the board. Tim Schofield may have had an issue on the track just a moment ago. Still maintains the 5th position. It could have been just a glitch, but let's see. We got something to look at here. We'll see what happened to the 12 just a minute ago. Looks all right to me. A little out of shape on corner exit, but keeps his foot in it. Wow. Wasn't really a crash per se, just a loss of connection for a brief minute. Back to the live action. Terzak still under fire from Brandon Mefford. Mefford just a couple of feet off the back bumper of that 051 machine as they get back to start finish once again. Ryan on on board with Brandon Mefford, still trying to find an answer to this problem that is Kyle Turzak. Mefford still running some quick laps. In fact, about a half-tenth quicker than Turzak that last time by. Unfortunately, though, I think Mefford's going to have to be a whole lot quicker than he is right now to make that pass. He might be able to dive bomb it down into the inside, trying to get alongside the 051, but it's almost guaranteed going to force some contact. We got Curtis in the HBR TV chat says, can you still join this series? I'm not 100% sure, Curtis. Try to send us a message, though. We'll see if we can get in touch. I mean, I don't know if you're willing to put your iRacing ID out on the chat. We can get you in touch with Chris Wally. He runs the series. He's not here this evening, but we got a light field. We started off the season with damn near 30 drivers. Things have whittled down here as the season has jumped into the playoffs, but again, it's not my call, but I'd love to have more of you guys here. Quite quickly, we're getting into the end of stage number 2. I don't know if Turzak tipped his hand there in the interview after stage number 1, saying he was going to have to go another 100 laps on a set of tires. I don't know, maybe he's planning on skipping a pit stop here. Again, maybe that's the issue too, because we've talked about whether or not the caution's actually going to come out for this second stage break. We've seen it happen sometimes for these shorter races, but not 100% of the time. So we'll see what comes to fruition there. If the caution does come out, I would expect everybody to come down and at least take 2 tires. But if not, I don't know. If they got enough fuel to the end, if we don't get a yellow between then and now, these guys may stay out all the way to the end. Some more information there, Curtis. That's Curtis Cairns jumping in the HBR TV chat. It's a familiar name from previous leagues that we've covered here on the channel. Curtis, I'll make sure I follow up with you after this one here, see if I can get you in touch with their race admins, and we'll go from there. Top 3, you can throw a blanket over all 3 of them right now. 4th place, Tim Schofield. He's a ways back, about 4 seconds off of this battle. I know we've said it week in and week out. Brandon Mefford certainly getting a feel for this late model stock as this season progresses on. He's gotten faster and faster. Again, he picked up a couple of wins this season to this point, but he's shown a lot more speed since then. It's only a matter of time, I think, before he picks up another 1 or 2, maybe more. In the playoffs, though, now is the time to start getting it done. Man, Mefford is just right there. Just not enough to get by. Lap 67, so clearly we have completed stage number 2. Turzak, of course, the winner of that. Mefford second. McCann third, as those positions now switch up. I don't know if Mefford just missed the corner or if he was just going up high to let Brian McCann get through without either one of them losing too much ground. Unfortunately, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to reel in Turzak, or if they can, if they're going to be able to complete that pass once they get there. Awfully strong. South Boston, I think you're almost going to have to move the guy to get around. "70 laps complete here from South Boston Speedway. Race 1 of 2 this evening. 22 and 23 of this season. We're going to jump out and get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at South Boston Speedway, Kyle Terzak continues to lead and continues to increase that lead. It's a 2-second advantage back to Brandon Mefford. 2.3, 2.4 back to third place, Brian McGannon. 8.5 seconds back to P4. Almost half a lap plus back to P5 in Tim Schofield. Seven laps complete as Terzak continues to dominate here, not only in the race, but this season. Currently Currently, we've got 6 drivers still remaining on the lead lap. Larry Bruner, the first car, 1 lap down. Newt Quick in 8th. He's 4 laps down. Not sure what happened there with the 4. I don't think he went down those laps naturally. There may have been another issue out on the track, and it does appear so, as he made a pit stop at lap 69. Everybody else came down lap 27. Newt did take tires, but again, a 4-tire stop under green flag conditions here at Sobo, you're going to lose a lot of ground, and it certainly seems that's what happened. You may have lost 1 lap on the track, but looks like you could have lost 3 during that pit stop. Four laps to go here from Sobo. Terzak still in command. I think he has led every single lap to this point. First round of pit stops, Terzak came down with everybody else. Took right sides only, so it looks like he's going to stretch this the whole race distance on the original set of left side tires. Those of you that are interested in fastest laps of the race right now, Brian McCann has it, a 14.86. Kyle Terzak and Brandon Mefford both with 14.87 second laps. So those top 3 very evenly matched, at least in single lap efforts. But you look at on the long run, right now Terzak throwing down laps of 15.29s. Brandon Mefford a 15.40, Brian McCann a 47. Terzak very, very consistent. You see those lap times, a 29, a 29, rounded up to a 29, rounded up to another 29. In fact, lap 95 and 96, you see them there identical down to the 1,000th of a second. Terzak getting it done. Mefford jumps back up into the second spot. Again, I'm going to assume at that stage may have been a planned exchange of position between those two. We saw it earlier on when Brandon gave the spot to Brian McCann. Actually, come to think of it, since the restart, that may not have been the case. I think Mefford was there the entire time. My apologies there. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep track. Last week's runner-up, Garrett Johnston, the number 15, currently in the top 5 in the 4th position. Comfortable lead over the 5th place machine of Tim Schofield. He's got about 5.5 seconds on Tim. Newt Quick in the 8th spot in behind him there. You see him a couple of 3 car lengths back from the 15. Schofield going down a lap to Kyle Terzak, so now the top 4 drivers on the lead lap. Terzak's pace now a 15.46. Mefford about the same at a 45. Brian McCann at a 65. Garrett Johnston running some quick laps though. He's a 15.32, faster than the top 3 right now. And you just gotta wonder, did these guys abuse their tires early or the in-tire save mode now? Johnston again faster than the top 3. Terzak still just adding to that lead. It's 4.5 seconds now. Befford back in the third, McCann back in the third position. He's about 7 seconds back from the race lead. That's about half a lap here. Terzak just watching the laps wind down. Don't go too far after this one, folks. We got another 125 laps still to come. Same driver, same racetrack. Hopefully we can get Mike Cook and Josh Funkhauser back in. Bruner goes up the racetrack, leaving room for Terzak to get clear. Got 11 laps to go here from South Boston Speedway. Kyle Terzak dominating as usual. Out in front of this one since the drop of the green flag, even through the pit stops. Won the race out of pit lane, stayed out in front. Held off some attacks from Brian McCann and Brandon Mefford throughout this race, but at no point were either driver able to get by the 051 of Kyle Terzak. 10 laps to go. It's going to be 9 here in just a second. I don't know if we had a problem for the third position, but Brian McCann has lost that spot. Garrett Johnston jumps up into that third slot. Go back quickly and take a look at it. A few moments ago, Johnston just caught and got to the inside of McCann. McCann got the fence on exit of turn 2 and opened the door. Johnston goes on by. Talking about that, how he was running a little bit faster lap times than everybody else. As it stands right now, Johnston still running times very close to race leader Kyle Terzak. Terzak running a 42 the last time, Johnston a 45. We're talking 0.03 of a second difference. Johnston would have a lot of work to do, though, to reel in Brandon Mefford. He's still almost 3 seconds back, and with about 4 or 5 laps remaining, I don't know if there's enough time. Caution would certainly change things up quite a bit. That remains to be seen as Terzak crosses the line here. 4 laps remaining. Meanwhile, Larry Bruner hits pit road. So does Tim Schofield. I don't know if this is a tire situation. This late in the run, I don't know. Is he going to take those tires? Yeah, he's going to put rights on. Might just be tired of driving it that way, but nonetheless, Terzak off of 4, sees 2 laps to go. Mistake-free race so far for Kyle Terzak as he sees the final lap, the white flag in the air. Terzak into 3 and 4. Checker flag waves. Terzak wins it. Brandon Mefford off of 4. He'll cross the line in the second spot. Garrett Johnston will take 3rd. Looks like Brian McCann will take 4th, down 1 lap. Terzak parks it here at the start-finish line, finishes up race number 1 with a win. See if we can get a word with our top 3. Kyle Terzak, Brandon Mefford, and Garrett Johnston here momentarily. We are going to hang here before going to break. See if we can get those guys before we start the next session. Well, we got the opportunity, though. Let's take a look at the results for this race. Of course, it was Kyle Terzak, Brandon Mefford, Garrett Johnston coming home third, Brian McCann fourth, losing that third spot late. Josh Stewart, Tim Schofield, Larry Bruner, Newt Quick, and then Josh Funkhauser, Mike Cook taking 9th and 10th. Not taking the green flag here tonight. But it looks like we do have Kyle Terzak available, so we'll pull him up into the booth right now and get a word with our race winner, Kyle Terzak. It's Steve with the HBR TV booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Kyle, congratulations, man. It looked easy out there tonight. I know the car count's a little low this evening. Plus, we had a couple of guys for some reason didn't make the start, but you had some fast guys in there behind you. How did you hold them off and eventually pull away?
So it was about tire saving, like I said, in stage 1, and Murphy was on me right there, and I was just saving, and later find out that saving actually really helps, especially that right front. That right front was really the tire to look after tonight, and I saw Mefford let McCann by, and McCann was falling off, but I know what they're gonna do now. They're gonna save really hard, and then they're gonna pass me. So yeah, my tires were pretty low on percentages, so I have to work on that and go into the second race.
Race number 2 coming up here. I expect it to be a little bit darker here in this second race, possibly some cooler track temps. Will that affect your tire strategy and tire savings at all?
Oh, definitely. Track temp was 82, so it wasn't that high, but Sobo's definitely at least this version, because this isn't the newly paved Sobo. So definitely a cheese grater and in the sim. So you definitely have to protect your tires no matter what the track temp is, especially how long this race is.
All right, Kyle. I'm sure we'll be talking to you at the end of this next one here, whether it's a win or another top 3. Good run here tonight. Congratulations, and good luck in the next one.
Thank you.
It's Kyle Terzak, your winner here in race number 1. We're going to pull Garrett Johnston up here next, as I don't have Brandon Mefford, but that's common. He usually doesn't come up here for these first races. And we got Garrett Johnston in the booth. You got us there, Garrett?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, we talked to you last week after a runner-up at Martinsville, and you weren't real sure about how this week was going to go, but here we are with a solid top 3 finish here, once again, finishing out in the 3rd spot, race 1 here at Sobo. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, after that first run, I was talking with Brandon there, and I don't know what I was doing there at the start of the race, but my tires were already shot, so I knew as soon as I came back out for the second part of the race, I was going to just probably give up the stage points and play the super long game, and it worked out. I was kind of getting nervous, and there, after about 50 laps, tires started coming in pretty good, and even at the end, they were pretty good. I was just kind of ran out of time and probably played a little too bit of a long game, but I'll be happy with 3rd.
So with that said, can we say that you learned a little bit here, something you can carry on to the next race here tonight?
Yeah, I think I'll probably try the same strategy and just accept my fate that I probably won't win the thing, but we're just going to try and stay competitive towards the end and hopefully let everyone else burn their stuff up, and I'll be waiting.
All right, Garrett. Well, again, thanks for chatting, and maybe we'll talk again after this race is over.
All right, thanks, sir.
Garrett Johnston, your 3rd place finisher here in this first race. Again, we don't have Brandon Mefford, but that's all right. We'll maybe talk to him after this second race is in the books. Stay with us. We won't be gone too long. We're going to go pay some bills here, go to a quick break, and be back with our next session. So stay with us. Another 125 laps coming up from South Boston Speedway. Stay with us.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Well, folks, we are back at South Boston Speedway for race number 2, but unfortunately it is not a race number 2. One reason or another, unable to get the second race in here this evening. So effectively what the race officials are going to do is race number 1 will be a double points event. So Kyle Terzak going to double his point total here this evening. Again, Brandon Mefford was second. Garrett Johnston will be third. Brian McCann, fourth. Josh Stewart, fifth. Sixth place went to Tim Schofield. Larry Bruner, seventh. Newt Quick, eighth. Josh Funkhauser, ninth. Mike Cook, 10th place finish in tonight's race. So that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys all for tuning in. As always, sorry we couldn't bring this next 125 lapper to you, but we'll just be ready and prepared for next week. Speaking of next week, let's take a look at that particular event. We are at South Boston tonight, but a huge change next week. We're going to be on the Daytona Road Course for a 90-minute event in these late model stocks. I can speak from experience. We've run these cars in a strictly road course series on late model stocks with super late models as a class style event. They are a blast to watch, a blast to drive. Really looking forward to that race next week out at the Daytona Road Course. So make sure you tune in for it here. Be ready, 9 p.m. in the East here at HBR and IROC TVs. We'll be here bringing it to you live. So thanks for joining us here tonight. Congratulations to Kyle Turzak. We'll see you guys next week.